Hello dear students and welcome back to i-nastava. My name is Ajlin and our topic today, World Englishes. So let's start. In this lesson you will be analyzing English language as the language of communication and you will be exploring the differences between varieties of English language. For this lesson, you need a pen or a pencil, a notebook, internet access, and you can stop the video anytime you like. There are two terms that are in use today, and although they look alike, they are quite different. World English refers to a lingua franca, and it is used in business, trade, and diplomacy. And World Englishes, that is the topic of our lesson today, refers to different localized or indigenized varieties of English. There are some other terms that are used when we talk about World Englishes. English as a native language is used for communication of people born in America, Great Britain, Australia, Ireland, and so on. English as a second language is used as an additional language for communication in multilingual communities such as in India, Nigeria, Singapore. And English as a foreign language is used for international communication and is learned in many countries, one of them being Croatia. This difference between people who use English as a native, second, or foreign language is best described by Braj-Kahru's circles. The inner circle is made up of native speakers, and there are 380 million native speakers of English in the world. The outer circle is made up of the countries that used to be British colonies. Between 150 to 300 million people speak English as a second language. The expanding circle, which is the largest, is made up of the people who learn English as a foreign language. It is estimated that between 100 million to 1 billion people learn English as a foreign language. Let's check which countries belong to the inner circle. That is United States of America, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. The outer circle, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Jamaica, and the Philippines. English is spoken by at least 1 billion people, one way or another. But how did it all start? It started with British colonization and imperialism. By the 19th century, the expansion of the British Empire had led to the spread of English around the world. By that time, 1/4 of land in the whole world was owned by Great Britain. The first expansion was to America and Australia, and it included a relatively large-scale migrations of mother tongue English speakers. The second expansion was to Asia and Africa. It was the product of imperialism. Those countries became English colonies. English is not their native tongue, but it serves as a useful lingua franca between ethnic and language groups. It is the language of higher education, legislature, national commerce, and so on. And former colonies still use that language, even after they ceased to be a British colony. The second reason that enabled English language to become so widespread was the fact that US military bases were stationed around the world. There are about 100 military bases and hundreds of military facilities around the world. They communicate with local communities, and the language that they use is English. The third reason why English has become a global language is the influence of music and radio, visual media, sports, the internet, aviation, and tourism. People around the world listen to American or British pop stars, music stars. They watch American or British films. They watch typically American or British sports such as rugby, baseball, basketball. According to one survey, 80% of all internet users use it in English language. And English is also the language of aviation. The communication between pilots is in English language. And it is the language of tourism. Tour guides, travel agents, receptionists, they all communicate in English. In order to learn more about World Englishes, your task is to copy this link and do one exercise in learning apps. It consists of 4 parts. First, as an introduction, you will hear different accents of English language. After that, there are going to be 3 videos, and after each one of them, there is going to be a comprehension check. So stop this recording in order to do your task. As you have seen in the task that you have just done, there are lots of varieties of English language. We will now concentrate on the differences between British English and American English. How would you pronounce these items that you can see displayed here? Is it a bottle or a bottle? Is it Tuesday or Tuesday? Is it shark or shark? Which pronunciation is correct? And the answer is they are both correct. Just 2 different varieties. You can use either when you speak, but it is not good to mix them. We are now going to talk about the differences in pronunciation between American English and British English. How do you pronounce this food here that you can see in the picture, this fish? In American English, it is pronounced tuna. In British English, it is pronounced tuna. What you can notice here is something that is typical for American English, yod dropping, the process of losing the y sound in American English. So it is tuna, not tuna. How would you pronounce this word? In American English, it is pronounced daughter. In British English, it is pronounced daughter. You can notice here that the sound t is replaced by d in American English. Daughter, not daughter. How would you pronounce this word? In American English, it is pronounced car. In British English, it is car. So, Americans pronounce the sound r, whereas in British English, it is not pronounced. It is not just pronunciation that is different between American, British, Australian, and other varieties of English, but also vocabulary. Look at these 2 signs. Robot ahead, take off your thongs before entering the pool area. Do you know what they mean? 1 language, 3 accents. We are going now to watch a video which is relatively long, and you need to watch it from the 3rd to the 18th minute and 40 seconds, but it is very interesting, and it is about the varieties of English language, different vocabulary in American, British and Australian English. After that, there is going to be a comprehension check, and you will also learn why you shouldn't rest in a restroom in America and why you shouldn't order biscuits in America with your coffee. So stop the recording in order to do your task. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Let's check now what you remember. What do you call this in British English? They are chips. What do you call this in British English? Those are crisps. Take your causes and thumbs and let's go to the where do you take these items? Where do you go with them? To the beach. If you are outside wearing nothing but pants in England, you are basically walking in your underwear, because in English you say trousers. Can you buy some washing powder in a grocery store in America? Yes, you can. At the grocers in England, you can only buy fruits and vegetables. What do you call this hair on the forehead in Australian English? That is a fringe. That is also in British English and in American banks. If you ask in America where the toilet is, what would be the logical answer? In the bathroom, because in American English, toilet is just one part of the bathroom. Can you eat capsicums? Capsicums. Can you eat them? Yes, they are basically peppers. Only in Australian English they call them capsicums. On what kind of a road can you find most tractors in America? On highways or interstates, because tractor or tractor trailer is a truck or lorry in American English. What is the American word for sweets? Candy. The Australian words are lollies. You have to wear wellies if it is outside. What kind of weather if it is raining outside? What do the Australians cover themselves with when they feel cold? That is a doona, a blanket. Now that you have become experts on English accents, your task is to check your abilities. Copy these 2 links, and in Learning Apps you have an interesting task waiting for you. Before each of these tasks there is going to be a list of the countries that the accents come from to make it easier for you. So copy the links, stop the recording and have fun. The fact is that English has become a world language. But before that, there were some other languages that also had that function, like for example Latin. It was the language of international communication, scholarship and science from antiquity until into the 18th century. It was the language of scholars and church, and then it ceased to be the international language. Why is that so? Maybe because the grammar was complicated, maybe because it was only for the elite and highly educated people. Another language that also had the role of a global language was French. It was the language of diplomacy, and it is the second most widely learned foreign language after English and the fifth most widely spoken language in the world. During the 19th and early 20th century, it was the language of communication and diplomacy and the favored second language among the elite and the educated classes in Europe. Why did French cease to have that importance in the second half of the 20th century? Could be the same reason, like Latin, it was the language of the elite. Or maybe there are some other reasons. Then there was Esperanto. You learned about it while you were watching your videos. It was an artificial language invented by Ludwig Zamenhof in 1887, and the idea was that it should be the second language of the whole world. It is a very easy language. All words and sentences are built from 16 basic rules, and it doesn't have any exceptions. But Esperanto is spoken only by 100,000 people. It never took over the role of French or Latin or English as a global language. You were shown earlier these two signs. Do you know what they mean? Robot ahead. Take off your thongs before entering the pool area. You probably know what the latter means. To take off your sandals, flip-flops, before entering the pool area. But what does robot ahead mean? Imagine being driven in a car and you see the road sign robot ahead. You might think that aliens have arrived or that you are in a very sophisticated country with robots running around. But what it actually means is there is a traffic light ahead. So is English really the language of communication? What is the future of English? You have seen those two signs from South Africa and Australia, and you probably couldn't understand what they mean. Is English going to disappear like Latin, or cease to have the importance that French used to have, or never become popular like Esperanto that is only spoken by 100,000 people? According to some scientists, the future of English is that it will fragment into a large number of mutually unintelligible varieties, and others believe that it will link up, become simplified and unified. What is your opinion? Think about it for a minute. Some people believe, as we have just seen, that English will eventually become the universal language. Others disagree and say that its varieties will become incomprehensible. What is your opinion? Write in about 200 words what you think will happen. Send your essay to your teacher. This rubric may help you write your essay well, so read it carefully. Let's check what you have learned today. If you have completed all your tasks, analyzed the varieties of English, and written your essay, then tick the smiling smiley. If you haven't, go back to the part that you haven't done and do it again. I hope that you enjoyed learning English with me today and that you have learned something new. Thank you very much for watching, and bye everybody.